I go to one of the Disney parks, I always make sure I get whatever Cars pins are currently out. And that was no different on my trip to Disneyland last month. These are the two Cars pins that you could currently buy in Disneyland. There's this one, which is the Billboard pin, and then this one, which is the Water Tower pin. I don't think the pins have official names, but this is what a Disney pin blog called them, so it's what I'm gonna call them. The Billboard pin retails for $12, and the Water Tower pin retails for $15. Yeah, Disney pins are kinda stupidly expensive. And they were also kind of stupidly hard to find. I couldn't even find these being sold in Cars Land. They were weirdly difficult to track down, and even the woman that I bought the pins from, who was selling them at a cart in California Adventure, said that, yeah, these pins are really popular because they're not really in many places right now, which is kind of odd. You think you would want Cars pins to be sold in Cars Land, but Cars Land didn't have any of them. If you want to see the full story behind how I got these pins, make sure to check out my huge Disneyland vlog that I released on my channel a few weeks ago. Easily one of my favorite videos I've ever made. It details my Disneyland vacation with my family, and also shows how I bought things like these pins and the other items I bought at Disneyland that I'll be reviewing in the coming days. Anyway guys, welcome back to another review, and to a very special review, because today we're going to be taking a look at the Disney pins that are currently available from the Cars series. Starting off with the Billboard pin right here. Let's just pull this out. Of course, this is tagged silver. All the colors have different prices. Again, I think silver is $12. Honestly, kind of surprised that this is cheaper than the one with Mater and Cruise. You think the Lightning and Sally one would be more expensive. For a lot of the bigger pins, or the ones that just use up more metal, they include two little pin pegs and stoppers just to keep them sort of stable so you could attach it to whatever, and it could always be standing upright. I really like this one. Probably my favorite of the two. Of course, we have the sign that says "Welcome to Cars Land" with all of sort of the Radiator Springs desert mapping in the background. You could even sort of make out the Cadillac Range and Radiator Cap Mountain. I don't see Willie's Butte, but yeah, still really nicely done. We have all these bushes here, again, very similar to the actual Cars Land sign you could find outside of Cars Land in the park. And of course, we have Lightning and Sally underneath. I really like that it says "Welcome to Cars Land" instead of "Welcome to Radiator Springs." Just adds that extra sort of Cars Land flair. Yeah, you could also see that Lightning is using his Cars 3 design, which is really nice. Moving on to the other pin, the Water Tower pin here features Mater and Cruise. I was pretty disappointed to see that there are no pins out for Cars on the Road. As you can see here, despite Mater and Cruise only ever really interacting in On the Road, and despite the fact that these launched in October of last year, yeah, nothing from On the Road on these pins. I'm going to try to angle the rubber pieces so that they don't hang off the edges, just because of where the pin pegs are placed. It's going to be kind of hard to, yeah, you're almost always going to see that sticking out, but that's okay, because they're probably going to attach it to a lanyard or stick it to something, and you're not going to see that most of the time. But as you can see, this features Mater and Cruise. Cruise in her Dynaco paint job, Mater in his just regular look. What were you expecting? In front of the Stanley's Oasis Water Tower. For those of you who don't know, this is actually part of the queue line for the Radiator Springs Racers ride. This big Stanley's Oasis Water Tower, you can see some writing underneath it, which is sort of hard to make out. Home of the original Radiator Spring. We've also got a welcome sign and an 8 3/4 sign. Don't really know what that means or why that's there. Mater's rust detailing is drawn on in a really weird way. It did not need to be there like that. It didn't need to be fully... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of looks like somebody tried to really poorly draw ferns on him. It just kind of looks like these bushes on Mater, doesn't it? I also really like the fact that they just did black dots for the eyes. They look really cute. They didn't try to overcomplicate them. Cruise is a little cross-eyed there, but that is perfectly alright. There is a look at the other side. And I also just really like the fact that there's just this blank white space here. I guess it's supposed to be a cloud behind it. I do think that's pretty funny. Probably just to allow more space for you to, again, for them to put the pegs for the pins. So there we have it. These are the two Cars pins currently available in Disneyland. Again, kind of unfortunate that they didn't have any for Cars on the Road one. I'm going to go put these on my pin lanyard. Keep a different lanyard from each of my Disney trips. One day maybe I should do a Cars pin collection video. That'd be pretty cool. Collected quite a few over the years. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for a more traditional review. Which, I didn't buy this in Disneyland for the record. I got this at Target. We'll start reviewing the Disneyland stuff again after this. Bye now.